do you think kind of brought the prioritization? Like, what made it, like, front and present?
Well, I think University of Houston is a progressive university, and they wanted to be on the forefront of the field of collegiate recovery. You know, just like on any college campus, there's always an issue around alcohol and other drugs. I was still a student at Texas Tech University in my senior year, my last semester, and the center asked me to come down and be a student representative for them at this meeting. That's how I got into that meeting. And the assistant vice president had been talking to Alex for, a year or two about collegiate recovery and what that was and what it looked like. And he provided Mr. Floyd Robinson, at the time was the vice president for student affairs, with the information. And so Texas Tech also had a replication project and program, and it taught universities how to implement collegiate recovery on their campuses. And so Floyd had a look at that and decided that, this is something he really wanted to implement in his tenure while he was at the university in the health and well-being portfolio of the Division of Student Affairs. And so after that meeting is when I told him I want to be involved. If there's anything I can do it as a volunteer, I'll do whatever it takes. And
So
so
from volunteer to program director. That's
yeah,
pretty amazing, and what I know is that over the last 6 years, you've had well over 150 folks that have graduated from the university out of Cougs in Recovery?
at this point we're going to be beginning our 8th year of serving students in recovery at U of H. We're ending our 7th year.
Not only do you provide services for college students that are in recovery, but it sounds like you champion those that are not yet in college but want to be at the University of Houston. And with as competitive as it is to get in college, Lord knows. I mean, the bribing scandal and then that whole industry where you get these private coaches but you guys do this and you don't charge anything and you're like going to bat, or maybe you do, but I don't know. No, he says no.
No
Like,
charges.
so this is a group of people that are ostracized and don't have a whole lot. I'm in recovery too. I know. I mean, it's really tough. Like, there's still a lot of shame and stigma, but for you to champion people that are trying to get in, that's amazing. Because you know what? They're not even
Advocacy.
students yet, right?
Mm.
That was me. So I quit school after my third time in the ninth grade. I got my GED while I was incarcerated, and I had never taken any advanced English or algebra or writing or any of that. And so when I got there, when I got to Texas Tech, I didn't even know what a Word document was, much less font and 1-inch margins and intro paragraph and body. I didn't know any of that. And they helped me be successful.
Wow.
And so we understand in collegiate recovery, the field in general, that students are way more successful than what is on paper because of them being in their active addiction.
Right.
We know when the substance is removed and they are given the tools to cope with their substance use disorder, as well as the therapeutic approaches to dealing with their mental health at the same time. Like, they have the academic foundation to be successful at a higher level,
Right.
but because of it was untreated in high school. On paper, a 2.8 GPA in high school and a 20 on the
Right.
SAT. That's not who they really are as a student.
So it's like affirmative action for addiction.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. And that goes for transfer students too. Like, a majority of our students in our community are transfer students. So what happens is they go to UT or Baylor or A&M or Texas Tech or wherever, and they get there and they have all this freedom. And a lot of folks, young people, acquire addiction in their first year or two of being in college, right?
Right. Between the ages of 18 and 25, it's like 1 in 6 have fulfill the diagnostic criteria for substance use
There you
disorder.
go. And so what happens is they fail out because,
Right.
their priorities are what college culture always provides for them. And when they get there is like,
Yeah, it almost promotes it. So how challenging is that for you and your staff to kind of walk students through that. Like if so now he was knocking at your door and he was asking for help and getting in, and now he's in and he's part of it. And I love the expectations that you have outlined for your program agreement with the folks that enter in, having the sense of community, committing to civility, being courteous, that check-in whole process that you have. But once I'm in, how do you work with your students to help them kind of see like this can be fun to be a cougar in recovery, even though all of your other folks may be doing different things? And then one more last question is, do you actually have sober living
Oh,
on University of Houston campus?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, that
that makes it easier.
so as far as I know, our program was the first program in the country to open its doors with recovery housing on campus,
Wow.
as far as
Nice.
I know. So I'm gonna claim it. When a student comes in, we sit down, we interview them, and then we share with them, like, what we do and how we do it and why we do it. It has to be fun. We try to provide the complete college experience just like any other student would have on that campus minus drugs. And so how we do that is, we do recovery tailgating. We do so before all the home football games, we cater in barbecue and we play games and we fellowship and we'll be watching other games on the big projector with a big screen and then we all walk over to the stadium together and we sit in the student section where they sell alcohol
Right.
and like everyone around us is like drinking and here we are, there's a group of us and we're supporting one another and we're experiencing exactly what
Right.
every other student is experiencing in the football
And
game.
you might be surrounded by it, but there's togetherness, right? You
Yep.
guys are doing it together, and
Accountability.
why insulate yourself or live in a bubble? I mean, go to the games.
Right.
Recovery, if recovery was about hiding, I mean, it would really not be that attractive, right?
Right.